This car has never been built before. Hey everybody, this is Joe Ray with the Wire Down Show. Before we get into the next episode, I would just like to give a shout out to Power Master Performance, starters and alternators. We don't roll without them. This is Memorial Day weekend. We can never forget all the freedoms that we have. We get to cruise wherever we want, load up the family in the classics, go to the picnic, celebrate with our car club, barbecue, or just leave it in the garage, throw on the music and wax it. All those freedoms, everything that we are allowed to do is because of the men and service women that help and sacrifice their lives. Some give and some give all. We can never forget them. This is their weekend, especially to Rob Munoz. He's our art director, design. He's done logos. He's done our flyers. He does everything for us. We go way back into Lowrider magazine. Back in the days, he's the one that used to lay out the magazine and everything. Rob, your dad was a Vietnam vet. I just missed Vietnam by a couple months. Always felt guilty about that. But your dad fought in that war, and he's a special man. Now he's fighting a different war, and it's called cancer. Our prayers and thoughts will always go with you and your dad, and for everybody else out there. Never forget who we are, why we are, and because of the men and women in uniform. So real quick, I went back not too long ago and we talked about the judging and the categories and full customs and the classics and all that stuff. So we went into full customs, and this is a full custom Dorado Cadillac. So I get a lot of questions about this car all the time. I hardly ever show it. I think it debuted in SEMA. I had it at Peterson, brought it out to a picnic with a club a couple times. It has a brand new motor, whatever it is. 1969 Cadillac Dorado, okay? Fleetwood. This is the top of the line. It's notorious luxury. After you build so many cars, even within your car club, and help all those guys with their Impalas, their Caprices, their Thunderbirds, their LTDs. I've had Lincolns and Rivieras just to be a little bit different sometimes. It's just hard to go through undercarriages, and then the cost of building lowriders today. So when I set out to build this thing a while back, it took 8 years to build it, but I had like 4 of these guys. And the third one, I chopped the top, laid the windshield down, and then I lost interest again. This car here is a front wheel drive car. So the normal wheels on this car come out to about right here flush. If you put shallow wire wheels on it, it's going to come to here. But when you put deep set wheels, 14s like that, the wheels will be out there because the transmission axles are right here in the front. Had a big old 472 in it. Had a flat transmission floor. They're beautiful cars. They look like a Grand Prix Monte Carlo from the rear. Riviera. They came out around the time with the Torenados, Rivieras. The Torenados were front wheel drive, so were the Eldorados, but the Rivieras, they couldn't wait for those to come out, and they came out with a rear wheel drive. So that was one of the major problems about building one of these cars. And the only reason why I did it is because it was different. It was a one-off. No one's ever done it before. Yes, the Imperials had an orange one, tangerine back in the days, but you had to have shallow wire wheels. The looks on them, ridiculous. Does it fit into low riding? Yeah, it's got all those glamorous looks. It's a Cadillac to go by that. So I tried this thing. Took a brochure, an owner's manual brochure from a dealership from way back, got it at the swap meet, cut scissors, sunk the tires in, chopped the top, and I knew I had to lower the top. The tops are just the 70s cars, they come up too much. So anyway, I did all of that. I look, and that was my inspiration. That was my motivation, but it took me 4 of these to finally build. And this one I had to build to prove something. It was different, and I needed it for inspiration all throughout the whole build. So when I'm going to take you from the front all the way to the back to explain to you, okay? And for all you judges, you don't need to pay attention to this thing. I couldn't even compete in it anyways, and I don't want to. I built it up from beginning to end because It was just different. It wasn't anything that I've gone through before. Once you go to one battle, you want to go back there again. The front bumper was 6 pieces. The front bumper had a big old license plate frame here. I molded it, made it one piece. Another one piece, I dropped in a Buick Riviera, bolt tail front end on it. It had hideaway lights. Masterpiece did the grill for it. These come with lights right here. I took them off, made taco shells. The Melendez brothers, Gil, did that for me in the early days. And then I went to the Engel brothers and they went from there. So we sealed this. They're made out of pot metal, but when you weld them, they're gonna crack. Eventually they'll crack. So I had to make this piece out of metal. All the way through here, I did modifications. This is not the same hood. Not the same hood at all. The chrome strip. You're gonna look inside this thing right here. This is just the beginning. That is an LSA supercharged brand new crate motor. And it's got a 85E, L85E transmission, and the huge Cadillac rear ends are ones that used to pull the trailers to pull the torque on this car. Now, I'm never gonna forget that one day when I displayed this at a convention with Hot Rod Trucking, Lowrider was there, this showed there in front of all of those industries. Some guy came up to me and goes, you know what kind of motor you got in there? I go, yeah. He goes, no, you really know what kind of motor you have there? Hot Rod guys, I don't know. And I told him, yeah, I do. And he goes, and you put those kind of wheels and tires on it? And that's why, another reason why I built this thing. To be different. Chip Foose, you know some of his cars he builds, if you just put wire wheels on them, oh, damn. So I told him I know exactly what wheels I have. I've taken this car up to 85 miles an hour on those Coker tires, never felt the damn thing until I kicked it into the supercharger. I thought it was over. Thank God I was going up a hill, but I had to try it for the first time. I let that guy know that I knew exactly what I had and that the performance that was underneath of this hood was for one reason only. Not so I can go out there and race on a drag strip or take this thing at 140 miles an hour. That's not what it's for. It's to cruising. It's to do what we do. And I try to tell them there are no limits. What am I going to do? Just put, what, a 350 in there? Put a small Cadillac in it? There are no limits with Lowrider. Do you understand? So I took the top of the line motor out of an Escalade and CTSV and dropped it in there. Because why? Because Lowriders can. And that's what you see that's under that hood. We go all the way down this way. You can start to see some of the intricate paint. Now, I went to 3 body shops, everybody, and stripped this car right back down to metal. You have to be careful of that. There's body lines in here that were molded off that they just filled in. This whole paint job is done in a can. It's waterborne. It's flaked waterborne. And it has a dye in it. It's a special dye. Paul Stoll took this thing, did a decal off of a computer, ran it over the whole center of the car, pulled it back. A bunch of us got together, Bugs and a few of us, Frank that worked at PPG, and we pulled off every other one of these. You could see the intricate patterns that are in there. Instead of trying to tape, they call them fingerprints, instead of trying to do that all day long, it took us a half a day to pull every other one off and it just faded the candy red. Paul is a master painter. He did all these tape shades, kept it simple. I wanted something like a two-tone. He put a dark charcoal, almost a black base, shot that candy down here, tape shaded the hell out of it. It took him about 1.5 years when he had his time, not from instructing how to do paint or all. One of the greatest souls on earth, Paul is. He did it every holiday. If it wasn't 4th of July, it was Thanksgiving. So he would plan to work on the car for 3-4 days. And finally, we knocked this thing off in about 1.5 years. This hood right here used to continue till about right here. I cut this out. I would have continued with this, only that I pick up the hood, it would have hit the back of the window. But I added a piece right here. This was a piece by itself. It had a seam, a cutout right here. I molded that together. I went on and had the Engel brothers just completely, from beginning to end, we chopped it. We laid down the windshield. Because just don't lay down, just drop a top like that. We laid it down. It looks awkward with a windshield post. So we laid down the window and then we slid it all the way to the back. I used original windows. I had to put side windows in. Remember I talked about chop tops. what goes on with chop tops. You got to put that window back in. The same person that made me these windows, AM Hot Rod Glass, Carmen Nadiva, she made this roof. She makes glass roofs. She's out there in Austin, Texas. AM Hot Rod Glass. She made me these windows for the doors and made me this glass roof to show all the inside. I went too far with this car. I suicided the doors. See the weather stripping? I had to go through and mold all of that. Those are all the little things that after you do your body work on your car, that you got to remember before you paint it, that it's not too late to put your weather stripping on, fill this in, do this molding. Scotty did a lot of my fiberglass. I got CTSV Cadillac seats and put them inside. The CTSV dash is done all on metal. Dakota Digital all the way through the console. It emulates a brand new CTSV Cadillac, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted the hot rod guys, that whole industry in SEMA, to see a lowrider, one of theirs but with different wheels. And as we go completely on here, you can see all the wheels are tucked in. This was a front wheel drive car, everybody. So I kept the front clip to keep my bumpers lined up, put an 84 Cadillac front, 3 feet of an 84 Cadillac frame, met up with the rails that go underneath this car as a frame, and had the mini truckers. Who else? You know that those guys are different. They're eccentric. They cut up things. They chop them up. They hack them. But they know what the hell they're doing. They C-notched this whole car in the rear, fastened it all the way around, took it off. Club members, Kenny, Lewis, all got together at the shop, re-welded the whole entire frame on this car, then reinforced it and boxed it in, powder coated it. I was going to start chroming things on that. I already gone through 8 years of this. I've done undercarriages before. Where am I going with this? It was a one-off car. I just wanted to see what it would look like when I cut it out of a magazine, of a brochure, and put the little wheels with Scotch tape and all. I wanted to see what it was going to look like. So this is all I ever wanted. I wanted to see the final days where I put 52014s, wire it down, and lay this thing on the floor, and that's what happened. This window, I kept a gutter in the window. Cut that out first when we chopped it, and then when I had to come back in and drop it in, this used to be about this high, so I was able to do that. When it comes to the trunk, this is a 1970s. I like the fin, the lights, the tail lights off a 1970 Cadillac Dorado, not the 67 or 68s. I had these done in complete metal, so I can weld them to this metal and have it all one piece, no seams. Same thing when you look back there at the trunk. That was a 3-piece bumper. The gas used to come in right here. You would open up a lid with a Cadillac emblem in it and put your gas right here. I didn't want that. I shaved that off. I made a piece in here, covered it, went down there in the bumper where the license plate was at. Now my gas, I put it in there and took that off of a Riviera. And these are my hydraulics. Didn't go way out. I wanted to modernize it. That's what you see right there. You see the Cadillac V in there and all the interior, and the whole trunk lid is molded. All the electrical, it has a computer brain inside it, Infinity, that runs a whole complete system, just like a modern car. Everything, Custom Dimensions did all the electrical. Everything in this car is computerized, and all the lights, everything. It's just a beautiful car. You build cars like these sometimes, they become one of a kinds and you're afraid to take them out. I've already had a couple incidents with them. You know, they're like your baby. You don't want to go through 8 years of that. But I mean, this thing will go anywhere. I had it seem like I got in the parade, did whatever I wanted. And that's pretty much it as far as everything else goes. Everything got chromed, polished. You can take a look at the interior. I'll give you more close-ups on that engine up there so you can check that out too. Dorado Cadillac, 1969. Fleetwood. There you go, everybody. Notorious Luxury. I'll catch all of you back next week's episode. We have special guests lined up. You just saw all the presidents were at the Cantina, the Boulevard Cantina. We got more of that coming. There's a lot more presidents from different car clubs out there. We're going to have a visitation from the Northern California car clubs that are up there are going to come in and join us. But next, you'll see some of the bomb clubs, the iconic bomb clubs, and their presidents will be dropping by pretty soon too. And we got other special guests. we just started, but just to get this thing out of the way, no one ever really sees it. But when we build cars, you always got to think out of the box. And sometimes when I say that, everybody's watching us, the other automotive industries. But I really did this because nothing was going to motivate me again. Maybe a 67 Impala Fastback. I'd like to see one of those. But, when you get into them, you start taking things apart. You guys all know what it costs. They lose their parts. What it costs just to do the body work, the metal work. You don't want nothing coming up. Before you know it, your car looks like a project and you already threw $50,000 into it and you've been waiting around 5 years. So this thing kept me going all the time. I needed inspiration or an ass kicking. Sometimes I had to finish this car, and with the help of all the ones I mentioned and those I did not, and club members and everybody else, this car, when I brought it out, the real purpose was I wanted to show the other worlds that build cars, that kind of smirk at our lowriders sometimes, is to say, here's a taste of your own. Like that guy that asked me about what was I doing with those kind of tires and the motor like that. We have no limits. We could do whatever we want. No one guides us and tells us what we should do or how we should build a car. So this was the answer for them. Anyways, hope you like this, and I'll see you next week at the next episode of Wire Down.